Hi everyone, welcome to our webinar. We have our friend from Conversion Sciences here, the great Conversion Sciences, Brian Massey. We'll talk today about landing pages. We'll do some live landing pages critiques. And I'll just actually let Brian go through his examples with you, and then we'll go to the landing pages you already submitted. I hope you can see the screen well. Okay, so Brian, you can take over.
Hi everybody, thanks for joining us. Well, we've got a very packed hour. We've got a lot to cover. It's going to be probably one of the most interesting webinars you're ever going to see on landing pages. We're going to talk very quickly about the chemistry of a landing page, what it means to create a great landing page, and what the important components are and how you lay those out. My name is Brian Massey. I'm with Conversion Sciences. I'm so pleased to have partnered up with Marketizator here today on this presentation because I think we're just going to have the complete answer for anyone who is struggling with a landing page that converts. I'm going to talk for a little bit, then Andra's going to talk for a little bit, then I'm going to talk for a little bit, and we're all going to be commenting on the examples that some brave souls have sent us, allowing us to critique their landing pages. This is a part, the things I'm going to talk about is we use the periodic table of the elements that chemists use because marketers don't have a common vocabulary for all the things that they can use either on a page or even on an email or a social media campaign. So we like to give the things, the tactics and the techniques that we use names, much like scientists give names to elements. And today we're going to be using this periodic table to explain to you the best way to create a landing page. So the most important thing I can do is relay to you this. A landing page has two primary jobs. Number one, its job is to keep the promise that is made in the ad that brought the traffic there. Landing pages are where you know where people are coming from. Landing pages are created whenever you put out an ad or when you put out an email with a link back to your site or when you put something out on social media drawing people back to your site. A landing page is what you need because you know the promise you made to them in that ad. You know the promise that you made to them in that link. You know the promise that you made to them on social media. And so you have to keep that promise. The first thing they need to see when they come back to your landing page is that you are keeping your promise, that they are on a page that's related to the ad that you sent out. The second thing it's got to do is be very, very single-minded about getting them to take action. This traffic is expensive. If it's coming from an ad, if it's coming from an email, if it's coming from social media, we are either having to buy the clicks or we're having to work very hard for those clicks through the use of content and things to get people to our landing pages. So these landing pages have to be very, very focused on getting that visitor to take action, the action that we promise. So the basic landing page form pretty simple. We want a pure solution of web page, and I'll talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to mix in two very simple components. We're going to mix in an offer, and we're going to mix in some form. So we've got an offer, a reason for them to take action, and we have a way for them to take action through the form. This gives us our most basic landing page. We don't want to start with this. We don't want to start with our corporate template on a landing page. We'll talk about the distractions that corporate templates create. We want to start with something much simpler. This is the most basic ideal landing page. We've got a call to action, which in this case is submit. That's the offer. And we've got a way to take action, which is the simplest form, just a button. Offer and form are both involved. Now, submit is not a very good offer. The only time that we've seen this offer submit work is when working with dominatrix, and that's really what people are going to them for because they want to submit. But beyond that, you should never use submit as a call to action on your landing pages. So what should be the right answer and the right offer on this page? Well, because the page is supposed to keep a promise, this is very easy. The offer on your page should match the promise that you made in the ad, in the email link, in the social media link that brought the traffic to the site. So the offer on the page needs to match the promise that you made. Here's an example. Discounted dollar bills. This is the Mint, the U.S. Mint that prints all of our money, offering discounted dollar bills from the leader in resale sales. That's ad A. Ad B says discounted dollar bills 50% off new U.S. dollars from the leading reseller. Now ad A being brought to this landing page, which the offer is discounted dollar bills, click here. That works because there's a match between the promise and the landing page. However, ad B says 50% off, but this landing page only says discounted dollars. So even though they could mean the same thing in your mind, your visitors will see them as different. A better landing page for this would be to change the offer to get US dollars 50% off for the second ad, the ad labeled B. So understand that your promise has to be kept very, very clearly and very, very purely. So we've got a big button with an offer on it and a call to action. We might want to ask a designer what we can do. They will come in and say, why don't we take the offer, create a headline. This seems to make sense. Now, we don't want the designer coming in and telling us what to add. We don't want anything fancy added to this landing page. Just tell them, make the information more readable, more accessible to our visitors. So clicking a button doesn't help our business. It might be fun for the visitors, but we really need to do something more. We need to make an offer and some sort of way to take action. So we need to expand our form. We could ask for an email address. We could ask for an email address and a checkbox that gives us permission to mail. This will reduce the size of our lists, but make them more higher quality. We could ask for a credit card number, or we could even ask for a friend's credit card number. This would probably convert pretty well. But the truth is that if we're asking for a credit card, we have to ask for a lot more information. We have to ask for the address. We have to ask for the full name. We have to, of course, get the number, maybe the security code and expiration date. And when we do this, what we get is we start to introduce a contaminant to our mix called abandon. And we give abandon the periodic table for argon, AR, because when someone abandons your website, they are gone. We want to do everything we can do to reduce the amount of abandonment on our landing pages. Remember, these pages are dead set on getting someone to take action, and if they're doing anything to chase people away, then they're not doing their job. So we've got all this information we're asking for. We probably should bring in a copywriter to help us overcome the objections that create this abandonment. And let's say I brought a copywriter in and the copywriter said, well, I think people know who the U.S. Mint is. We'll just provide a few bullets to reinforce the issue here. So he'll come in and maybe write a little copy here from the leader in U.S. dollar bill sales. You can trust us. They're genuine dollar bills. They're new, still in circulation. These are the choices that he made. So like this copy should go a long way towards reducing abandonment. We're now going to work with a couple of things that I call catalysts. So these are things that you mix in that don't react, but that help the reaction go faster and burn hotter. And the first of those is something called trust. So in order to work in trust, there's a number of things we can do. We can use our logo. The U.S. Mint is a known entity backed by the U.S. government, for whatever that is worth. And so putting the logo on here should build some additional trust. When we use the credit card logos, MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover, we are borrowing trust from these well-known companies onto our page and building trust with the visitors. We can use the logos of our existing customers, other people who have bought from us, especially if they're well-known, but they don't have to be well-known. All of these are allowing us to bring other people's trust, essentially borrowing trust on the page. The second catalyst that we use is called proof. Proof. Now, proof is how we reinforce our offer and it can go a long way towards improving our conversion rates. Here we went back to the copywriter and said, we need some proof. He says, well, why don't we tell them how many we've already sold? That seems like evidence that it's a good deal. So we suggested over 13 trillion sold. And we find out when we're offering proof that if you're more accurate, if you're more specific, it works better. So we might tell them to say exactly how many are being printed. Unfortunately, this would be difficult on a landing page because so much of this money is currently being printed by the U.S. that this would have to be updated almost 100,000 times a second. But you need to look for things in your business that you can bring to your landing pages as proof in support of the offer that you have on the show, on the page. So we want to finally integrate some image. Show the product as marketing 101. I was able to go out and find a stock photograph of some dollar bills for my landing page, but it turns out this is usually not the best thing. Because what designers typically go out and do is they'll find some stock photography that doesn't make sense, that doesn't really match the offer. Hands shaking, a girl with a headset on, and like graphs that don't have any units, don't have any definitions, that are just meaningless and supposedly manipulating visitors into believing that something good is going to happen. We call this business porn, and you should avoid this. Images are a great way to communicate and further your value proposition. So use those images. Think as hard about the images as you do about the words you're putting on these landing pages, because they can really be used to forward your value proposition and drive your offer home, increasing the conversion rates. So we got a lot of stuff on this page now, but it's all important. It's all on there for a purpose. But we want to make sure that whenever somebody comes to a landing page, that they know we're asking them to do something. What's the second job of a landing page? Is to get people to take action. So we got all this stuff on this page. What can we do to make it really clear that we're asking them to take action? Well, the obvious thing we can do is make that call to action button much bigger, much brighter. The rule for the color of the button that you need on your landing pages is a button that doesn't match anything else. There's a lot of people who test whether red or green or orange works. Your button should pop. It should stand out. It should not be in any color found on the page. So this orange, we don't see it anywhere else on the page, so we chose this color. And your call to action button needs to reinforce the offer. So we changed the word on this to get your discount dollar bills, because that is the promise of this page, and that is the action we want visitors to take. We also screened back some of the other logos. So these used to be in full color, and what we want to do is highlight, low light them. So we took them out of color and made them what we call grayscale. The other thing that we can do is add arrows. Sorry for that, guys. Add arrows. My technology is not working very well. Here we go. Go ahead and add an arrow pointing to the call to action button. It's amazing how you those tools to get people's eyes to the important parts of this page. So we want a draftsman more than a creative designer. I went to our friends at Unbounce and took this design and took one of their designs that one of their designers had done. And here you can see that we've got the arrow treatment. We've highlighted the form in a dark box so people get the idea that we're asking them to take action. We've used some icons over here to highlight our proof points, our copy, and we've decided to go with a bolder and green font for our proof. Here you can see we've screened back the logos. We've got the company logo front and center here, and we've used a larger font for the header. These are all things that help the visitor find the information that's important. So this is the complete reaction. We take offer and form, we mix it into a pure solution of web page, we offer the catalysts of proof and trust, and then we integrate some image, mix it all together, and we should have a high-performing landing page. So Andra, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you talk a little bit about some of the personalization issues.
Thank you, Brian. So after you're done with creating the landing page, exactly how Brian described it earlier, I think ideally you should conduct a landing page optimization. You can do this through web personalization. Ideally, you really need to understand your target market. You conduct surveys and interviews to understand their pain points and address them in a personalized way according to the insights you get from that qualitative research that you do. Also, after you have the landing page done, you can start A/B testing. You can create a document with all the alternative ideas you've had for copy, for design, for call to action placement in the page, and just start testing and see which version actually converts better. I have here some examples of web personalization that we've done, and I think you'll see great value in them. This for Nested Bean is just a re-engagement pop-up. It collects email addresses for users that intend on leaving the page. I know most of you don't necessarily agree with any kind of pop-ups because you think they annoy the audience, but actually you have absolutely nothing to lose because they're leaving anyway. So this way you can recover some of the otherwise lost clients. Um, Another one is on-exit, to offer some on-exit incentives to re-engage your audience. Here we've just offered a guide to big data personalization, and this also improves your database with new clients, and also they see the value in the content you provide, making them much more likely to actually return to your page and convert in the end, because you're offering them something. It creates a navigation. They will feel the need to replicate this effort of yours. Another pop-up that we've done was just to collect leads from a landing page for mobile phones. It's just to subscribe to the newsletter and you get the best offers. Also, you can use emotional targeting to get your users to take the action you want them to take on that page. You can, here we've used yesterday, you said tomorrow. So this, I think, has a very strong impact on each of us because we all procrastinate and we all just say we'll do things another day. So I think this actually appeals to the psychological aspect, and it greatly improves your conversions and gets them back on the page and engaged with your content. Another type of personalization that you can use is just to get their data and then call them back immediately. You can offer, as Brian mentioned earlier, just the main benefits that they have with using your product. Here is for loans, and it just says fixed rates, and you're hearing us very bad. I can see now. I'm not sure how we can do this. Maybe Brian can close some. Can any one of you just write if this is better? Karine or Christian? Can you hear me now? Is it better? A little bit. How is this? Yes. Okay. Perfect. We'll continue like this. Sorry for that. We've been having some issues. Okay. So for the web personalization pop-up, it presented the benefits. We just got their details and we called them back. This has shown improvements in the user database, and this is an ongoing experiment that you can just implement on the page. We implement it for once per lifetime, and just whenever they've given you your data, you have a lead that you can actually monetize. Also, another experiment we've done for this client is by using video. I think whenever you use video to present the product, it helps as they can actually relate the information you provide to a human being, to some familiar faces. This also appears to their emotional targeting. Okay. Again, with the offering incentives, just offering free ebooks or guides or whatever appeals to your target market. Again, it's very, very important that you get to know them. You have a coherent message between your ads, your landing pages, and your pop-ups and what you offer to them, so that this actually provides them with enough reasons to keep going, to go through the funnel. And we'll start the live critique session with the landing pages you've submitted until now. And the first page, I think this will go again to Brian. Brian, you can take over.
Thanks very much. One thing I want to emphasize is that with things like popovers, where you're personalizing the experience based on whether people whether people are interested or if they're exiting, everyone will tell you that they hate them, and they work time and time again. People don't realize that they really appreciate being offered something when they either they're not finding what they want or they're moving on to something else. So I would strongly recommend that everyone out there test one of these personalization tools, because they do work, even though you think you don't like them. And these are some great examples. So let's start off with, I'm going to take just a moment here and arrange this a little bit better, because for some reason we have some framing issues. Some serious framing issues. All right, great. So what we're looking for in each of these situations is, are these components on the page? So what's the first thing we're looking for? Is we're looking for an offer. The offer here in big letters is Kaspersky Antivirus, essential protection for your PC. So I'm hoping that the ad that brought the person here said Kaspersky Antivirus. This is an antivirus program for your computer. So this is pretty straightforward. This is what they're selling. Part of our offer includes all of the proof points. So we're looking for things like price. That's a part of our offer. And we're looking for copy that tells us about the product. Now what they've done here is they have compared the different levels, and this is called what we call a classic pricing page structure. So there are 3 different levels of capability in this product, and we want to present them in a way that gets visitors to take action. Keep in mind that whenever you introduce choice on a landing page, you're going to decrease your conversion rate. So if this was Kaspersky Antivirus 2016, I would argue that the Internet Security Multi-Device and the Total Security Multi-Device don't belong on this page. You're introducing change. This is not what the promise was originally made. I would make this all about one product and maybe have smaller calls to action in the copy or below this saying, are you interested in multi-device, and go to another landing page for these other offerings. However, they've chosen to offer them all on the same landing page, and so we're creating choice here. You can see that they've got some not only proof points, but they've got some trust builders. Yes, this is informational, but it's also borrowing trust from PayPal, American Express, MasterCard, Visa, etc. The call to action button is here. Buy now. This could actually, since it's underneath this, it's pretty clear what we're talking about, but could we have some language on this that was stronger? Could we say buy now, buy Kaspersky Antivirus? In terms of images, we've got this lady, and I don't know what minus 30%, I think this might be either something that's on the box or some sort of an error. I don't know what minus 30% means. But a smiling lady sitting with her laptop and a picture of the box close by is not a very engaging image. This doesn't really tell me very much. What is she laughing about? What is she looking at on her video? Well, the answer is nothing, because this is a stock image, and we all know what stock image is. This is business porn, and we don't want this on the site. So if we then look at opportunities to abandon, we've got a number of tabs here. And so I don't know at this point, I don't remember what was on these tabs, but again, this is some place that someone else can go. Whenever someone has decided to take action on your landing page, the first thing they're going to look for is an excuse not to take action or to delay that action. So I would say that this is probably not necessary. If these can be integrated onto the page, perhaps these can be brought down so that people who scroll can see them and can fill the page below this. Things would work very well. One other thing that I like, and I think you should your product pages, is using the stars and the ratings and reviews. This is another great source of proof. And since other people are providing it, is also a trust builder, so it has the both catalysts, proof and trust, involved in that. Other than that, the copy is fairly straightforward, easy to use, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to say in general that this is an A landing page, maybe a B because of all of this choice down here, but they should expect a pretty good conversion rate, and if they can remove some of the abandonment and maybe take some of the choice out of the page, they should do much, much better. Andra, did you want to add anything to this?
One second. I was muted. No, I think you've covered plenty. I think you can...
Okay. Once again, we're looking for all the components of the landing page: offer form, proof, trust, and image. So here's an interesting image. And I think we're getting some, oh, there we go. Let's start with the image, because this is the thing that pops from the screen. This designer decided to fit everything above what we call the fold, so everything fits in the top. And the most eye-opening thing is going to be this image. So does this image move the value proposition forward? At first glance, I thought that this was another search engine. So I thought that this company was competing with Google, because this says search, and then it says their logo here. I don't really know what this means and why this guy is so happy about that. It says, the caption says, the all-in-one business app provided by Finet Limited. Guess what, Finet guys, Finnet, whatever you are, no one really cares. We're not here looking for you. We don't really care about your company. This is probably being used as a trust builder. So maybe in this marketplace, Finnet Limited is well known, and so the fact that this app is provided by them builds trust. That's a good use of the company name. But what we want to avoid is talking about our companies and ourselves when our landing page should be talking about the offer. So what is the offer? Online HR and payroll software for UAE. So this is geographically targeted. It's very smart to put the geographic targeting in that area. Perhaps the image should have been one of the major cities. It's in the United Arab Emirates. Dubai comes immediately to mind. Something like that may have been a better image to help reinforce the geographic location rather than this rather strange cartoon. So we've got a call to action. I mean, we've got an offer rather. Cloud HR and payroll application with UAE regulations. I think that since UAE regulations is the main issue, these might need to be reversed. But then again, visitors coming to this may already know that there are regulations, specific regulations in the UAE that need to be addressed. Sign up for a 14-day free trial. So this is really the offer. And I would argue that this should be up here as important as the headline. This is a 14-day free trial of online HR payroll software for UAE. that deals with the regulations. That's the complete offer. This is a great place, by the way, to repeat the offer on your forms. Whenever you have a form, let's say you have a longer page, please go ahead and at the top of the form, tell them what they're going to get if they fill this out. We find that forms test better when they're stacked, so you can see these are side to side, so I have to do this sort of thing as I'm going through it. It would be better if all of these fields were stacked, and I know that the designer probably wanted to try to fit all of this above the fold. Sometimes fitting everything above the fold does improve conversion rates, so you're going to have to do some tests to find out, does stacking improve your conversion rate, or does fitting everything above the fold improve your conversion rate? The call to action button is a similar color to other elements on the screen, so it doesn't look like the most important thing. Start my free trial, I think that's great call to action language. No credit card required, nothing to install. If you have proof points or copy points that are important to the visitor, placing them near the call to action button will not only ensure that they get read, but are more likely to increase the number of people who go ahead and click start my free trial. One thing I want to really talk about here is when you put CAPTCHA on your landing pages, you're transferring your spam issues to your prospects. You're transferring your spam efforts to your customers and your prospects. CAPTCHAs will reduce your conversion rate. You need to figure out how to deal with spam yourself and not put it on your customers. So get the CAPTCHAs out of there. It will always, always reduce your conversion rate. And as I say that, of course, I know someone has done a test where it improved things, and who knows why, but I would get rid of any CAPTCHAs that you've got. Have a question. This is what we would call a secondary offer. Have a question, click here. On a landing page, we want to be focused on the one thing if we can, but it's sometimes okay to have secondary calls to action where, for instance, you're asking them to subscribe. What you don't want to do is have someone ready to buy, they start looking around for a reason to delay, and they find something else to do. If you put secondary calls to action on your landing pages, you will have some cannibalism. People will take advantage of them when they want to buy. In this case, I think that this is a chat, so they're going to get to hopefully be speaking to someone on the page, and that could be an improvement. Finally, we want to look for issues of abandonment. And there's a whole bunch of opportunities for abandonment here. This landing page was obviously placed on the corporate template, and this is generally a no-no. Sometimes we add the navigation to a landing page, and it actually increases conversion rate, but more often we find that it causes people to run away from the landing page, and when they're gone, they are gone when they abandon. So all in all, I would say that this page could do better on image. I think that the exact design of the form could be improved and get rid of that CAPTCHA. There's probably some more copy, since use this space where the image maybe and put some copy in to explain this 14-day free trial. What are they really getting? What is online HR and payroll software? Maybe I need to expand a little bit on that. Or during the trial, what will I be able to use? Is it full function? Is it a crippled product? There's quite a number of objections that need to be handled here that aren't being handled above the fold. So I would give this a C or a B in terms of conversion rate.
So, Brian, just to complete what you said here, another element that I see missing here is just how it improves my life as an accountant or HR, or how was the point of difference besides the fact that it complies with UAE regulations. I think that's also something to take into consideration.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they're missing an opportunity to really provide some more proof points around the software. Many times it's just listing features can provide the proof you need.
I mean, it needs to do something else besides just being specific to an area. Just my opinion.
Oh, you think they should expand it geographically?
No, not geographically. I think that's great that they've done this, but besides the geographic point of difference, it's what it does. I mean, how it improves my life. Why would I test it? What does it do, you know? Not.
What's the benefit?
Yeah, exactly. What's the benefit?
Yep, you and I would definitely agree. Now, I'm assuming that there's no copy below this on this cutout.
There is actually. We can.
Okay.
There's a link there, which I think you can open. I'm not sure.
Well, I think that we hit on some really important points on this one. So why don't we move on?
Yes.
And so there is more proof and there is more description below the fold about this product, and people will scroll. This is a very interesting treatment, though, for an above the fold approach. So this is Eurocamp. Again, we're looking for offer form, proof and trust, and image. This is probably, this looks very much to me like it is a maybe a home page. So the call to action here is don't miss out. I'm not really sure what that is. There's another call to action here, good eggs, save an extra 10%, holidays from 4th of June to the 22nd of July. People coming to this page need to already know what Eurocamp is. I don't know what it is, so I don't really know. Are they selling Easter eggs? Because that's what the image is telling me. So here it says good eggs, save up to 40%. I don't know what that means. What are these dates for? So the name is Eurocamp, so maybe we're dealing actually with camps here, like camps for kids. These images start to communicate that sort of thing, but they're further down, they're smaller, they're cramped. I very well might not have I might have thought I was in the wrong place if I hadn't scrolled down. There's probably a fold right about here for most of our computers, and it'll be much higher for our mobile devices. So down here we get to start to see some coffee. So you see how the designer has probably done us wrong here by putting all of this branding or interesting stuff here. Things like don't miss out are just conceptual. You need to be very specific, so that there's a very good chance I didn't see the important images that tell me what's going on and the important copy that defines the offering. This is another pricing page, so there are several options in terms of dates. The prices are given here. And beyond that, I think, so we've got a murky offer. Somewhere it needs to say here, sign up for camps, rather than good eggs, save up to 40%. In terms of the form, you know, we've got these select, select, select. This is our call to add. These are the forms that we use. But we also have this, half price holidays, and we have this, find some holiday fun. I'm not really sure what to do on this page. There is more amazing offers down here. So you see how we've provided a whole lot of choice, and we're asking the visitor to make the choice. If this page was all about signing up for the camps, we would probably get rid of all of this. Maybe just have some links at the bottom, say more information, and have separate landing pages for those things. And this is getting a little bit crazy here. Sorry about this. Get rid of all of this, bring this stuff up, and I think we'd have a more compelling landing page. Again, this might be a home page, but at the very least, whenever they exit, it looks like they're going to get an exit intent popover. And now look at how straightforward this is. Looks like you might be leaving. Before you go, please enter your email address to receive newsletters and be the first to hear of our latest offers. But again, it doesn't tell us what they do. Is it latest offers, or is it about upcoming camps? Is it about interesting camps? Is it about active camps? Are there horse camps? Are there computer programming camps? What are we talking about here? And so it's good that there is an exit intent popover, because I think a lot of people are going to be exiting this page unless they're already coming knowing what they want and that they want to buy from this company. So I'm going to give these guys a relatively low grade in general. As a home page, this might be appropriate, but certainly not going to work as a landing page. There's all kinds of abandonment and stuff at the top, so I don't think it's going to work as a landing page at all. Here's one from a company called SafeFleet, and this was probably I translated this one, and I don't understand why none of my bars are here, but again, we're looking for the offer, the form, proof and trust, and image. So let's look for the offer. Save 30% savings. GPS fleet monitoring brings 30% savings. Ask for specialist or a free demo. So this is probably the call to action for this page. This page, this landing page, is selling a free demo. And usually a free demo is an opportunity to get on the phone with a salesperson or a consultant and ask questions. So we have a little bit of a disconnect. The copy is talking about GPS fleet monitoring. The offer is for a demo. Now it might be for this. So this is really just proof for the call to action. Keep in mind, your landing pages need to sell what they're offering. So there needs to be more here about what will happen at the free demo. So if I was to explain that during the free demo, you will get a demo of GPS fleet monitoring, and we will show you how it saves 30%. You will talk to an experienced person. The call will be about 1 hour or 45 minutes. At the end of it, you will be able to ask any questions about your particular business, and we can provide a quote if you like what you hear. So we're selling the offer, which is a free demo. And while we're doing that, we're lacing in the advantages of the product as proof points. So I think that this looks like they're trying to sell me GPS fleet monitoring. I'm not ready to buy, but I am ready to do a demo. If this landing page really wanted to do a good job, it would talk about, hey, we've got somebody smart who can help you make a good decision. Good use of proof symbols here. Here are the customer logos. The copy talks about the product. If this was put in the sense of questions, you should ask questions about driving behavior, roadmaps, that you're going to answer these questions, that I think this would be more effective. The bottom half of this page does something that's really smart. So whenever somebody was read all the way down your page, they're probably very interested. So I think it's important that you repeat the offer at the bottom. So once again, want to try out SafeFleet, want to see reports are available in SafeFleet portal, request a demo. This is apparently something that you can actually buy on the page. So this landing page is really trying to do a number of things. It's trying to sell a demo, it's trying to sell the product, and it's trying to get them to download an app. So again, we're introducing choice. Choice is going to reduce your conversion rate. In this case, if you've got a lot of different people coming for different promises, then this landing page is probably not keeping any of the promises. You need a separate landing page for the demo, for the ads that say get a demo, separate landing page for the purchase portion, and a separate landing page for the app if you want to get people to install the app. And they're going to be three very different people. They're going to respond to different ads. I would break this up into 3 separate landing pages. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just sorry. I was just saying that this is where we intervene with the actual targeting of the users. That exactly what you mentioned, to talk to them in different ways according to their different characteristics for each of them.
Yeah, and explain that a little bit. So if I have an ad that's talking about the demo and I bring them to this page, personalization will remove the calls to action that involve purchases and stuff. How does that work?
Well, with personalization, we can create just some segments based on criteria, on segmentation criteria. It depends. For example, from the ad they come from the campaign, we can show them that message, that personalization message. We can create a segment for the people coming from the ad campaign for the app, and just deliver the message like that.
Yeah, and I want the marketers in the audience to really understand the power of this. So before, you had to create separate landing pages and then go to your pay-per-click people and have them change the URLs for specific ads. So you kind of had to understand pay-per-click. This way, you can tell the pay-per-click people to send all the ads, for a targeted set of keywords to one URL, and then you can use personalization to change the pages for them based on which of the ads are coming, and let market designer do this in a smarter and smarter way. So this is really where I think this is really state of the art is going to be in 5 or 10 years for the market in general, but we've already got a tool that brings this to us today, and it can be very, very powerful. So don't wait 5 or 10 years. Are we, I just want to make sure that we're leaving time. Are there going to be questions? Are folks typing in any questions? Do we want to answer any specific questions?
We have some questions. I mean, not necessarily questions. I will just go through them for a bit. You have a message from Alex saying, Brian, amazing page critique, which is awesome.
Thank you.
Cristiano says it's get a quote, not ask specials, and download app is just a picture, not a link, which is a usability issue there. And I think, Christian, is this for safely? The download app is just a picture, not a link. Yes. So for SafeFleet, where it says download app, it's not a clickable link.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
So whenever you have an image that is, first of all, people tend to click on images. So whenever you have an image on the page, you should think about, should I make this clickable? Now on a landing page, we want to keep people on the site. So that is probably the worst time to make an image clickable. But if you're making a clear promise like this, where, hey, download the app, and it's not clickable, yes, you're keeping them on the landing page, but you're also kind of breaking a promise. You're frustrating them. So I think that's a bad experience. Again, I think a whole landing page around why download the app and go to all this trouble is necessary rather than just putting the logos there. So I would perhaps take them, if they clicked on this, I would take them to another landing page to keep that promise and get them to take action.
Yes, well, Christian is saying that having an app is important for their business, and a link towards the app will link his traffic, will leak his traffic. I'm not sure by leaking traffic, does that you'll cause abandonment? Is that what you're asking? Or what you're saying with the, oh, okay. So Christian thinks that if you make the download app clickable, then he will lose traffic. It will cause abandonment.
Yeah. So you probably should take this off this landing page, even though it's important. Someone told you it was important, but we're talking about a free demo, or we're talking about buying the product here. I mean, if someone's looking at a free demo or buying the product, they are not even anywhere close to downloading an app. So I would just take it off.
Yes, not to frustrate them, I think.
Yeah.
Christian also says that that landing page is converting 3% in a business-to-business business, in a B2B business.
Yeah. Well, if you're driving qualified traffic to it, like from ads or from email campaign, then 3% is too low.
Because from that 3%, what percentage does convert from that 3%? Because that's just 60%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
60%. What's your close ratio for those people doing the demo, and what's your, what's the purchase ratio?
Yeah.
It'd be very interesting to find out how many of those conversions were for the demo and how many were purchases.
Well, I think we'll get an answer soon enough. We have 60%.
Yeah, she's engaged. I love it.
Exactly. Christian is very engaged. We're enjoying this. Okay, he sent a smile back. I think I think this is our Q&A based on the landing pages we have here. I think we'll run out of time soon.
Okay. Well, yeah, and we probably won't get through all of the examples. Thanks again, everybody, for offering them. But let's keep going, if I'm understanding you correctly, and look at a couple more.
Exactly.
So Gold Season, this is a apartment complex. So they're selling an apartment complex. The thing that they want, the call to action of the offer is contact a consultant. Phone calls are usually more valuable in this environment than form fills, because when someone fills out a form, they're not as committed and they're often hard to get back. But here's the form. So I hope that these are click to call. Very important, especially when someone's coming to this website on a mobile device. They need to be able to click this. So I hope that these buttons are clickable and they will call somebody. This inverted form is, so on landing pages we're less interested in being novel. So this is kind of novel. It's got a colored form field, but we generally see colored bars as something we can't click in and edit. So I think that this is creating confusion. I would just get rid of this unusual treatment of the form. Designers come in and they're like, "Oh, why don't we make the form fields blue? It'd be so awesome," and they'll just kick you in the nuts around this because they're trying to be interesting. But what you want to do is find someone who will make everything very, very clear. There's a lot of copy here, good use of images, so they're showing the product, they're showing the place. Let's go and see what the bottom portion of this page looks like. We're seeing some interiors, some explanations. There is some opportunities for abandon. Can this be placed on the page? These buttons that take them away from this landing page, can we bring this content onto the page? Landing pages can be long. You need as much space as it takes to make your point. It says, guests, please contact this number. And it's not really clear what this form is about. Is this one the same as this one up here? I don't know, because there's not a good call to action above it. I told you to put that above. And the call to action on the button is just send. So what are we trying to do here? I don't know. This could be a great idea. This could be a repeating of the offer at the bottom. Schedule a tour, contact somebody else. But it doesn't really tell us exactly. If we take the time, and I'm trying to erase, if we take the time to read, to learn and update the latest information about the project, gold season, and then it just stops. So I'm assuming that this is just for people who, like press, who are interested in the building of the complex. So I think this does great on copy. I think this does great on image. The offer is very clear. I think it should be repeated at the bottom. In terms of proof and trust, in the copy, I think it's covered. I don't. I think the images, the images showing what it's going to look like really help us believe that it will be a good deal. So maybe some more on proof and trust. Have you built other locations? Are you a well-known real estate company? You can start to bring in some of the things about your company. But this landing page may perform well, probably a B or so.
Okay, that's good. Sorry, Brian. Just another thing I would add there is probably just to break up all that long text. Although we need all the information, I think it can be presented in a friendlier way, in a way that's made to stick. This is my opinion on the text next to the images, because I think it's just too much. It's just too much text, and if you're definitely really interested in purchasing the apartment, you'll read through it all. But I think for new visitors, I think you need some main points of difference, main benefits, what makes it so awesome, and then maybe for returning visitors, because I don't think it's something you'll. And another thing we can actually target new and returning, but I don't think you'll be convinced in the first visit, because this is it involves a lot of browsing, I think, and just
Yeah. And let's talk about that. So if we do have a lot of copy, what makes it scannable? Because the first thing we want to do is let them scan through and get an understanding of what the landing page is about.
Exactly.
And to your point, frequent headlines, sub-headlines like this.
Mm-hmm. Headlines, some check marks. Yeah, exactly. Bullets.
Exactly. Bullets and check marks and lists, and then using highlighting. And I'll never have thick, long paragraphs like this. A couple of 3 lines is usually enough to make it scannable. It's not the way we were taught to write in school, but this is a landing page, so we need to write for scanners.
Yes, it needs to be sticky.
Go ahead.
No, it just needs to stick in their minds. When I browse, I just need 3-4 pieces of information that remains there, and then you can continue browsing. Exactly, it's not the way we're taught, but actually you have such a small fraction of a second to get an idea of what you're looking at. I think this could improve it and reduce some abandonment issues.
And one thing that I haven't mentioned, whenever you have an image like this, put a caption on it. You can put a caption here, or you can put a caption in the image. Don't expect the person to understand what you're showing them. This should say, zero edge Zero Horizon Pool will be part of the amenities for every resident. Call now. You can even put the phone number in captions. They're more likely to be read. Captions get read more often. So every time you have an image, you can repeat the offer. Amazing bar, call now, or put it in here. Images, again, are very powerful and they draw the eye.
And would you say this, I mean, placing important text on the images, do you think it will also help the user associate the benefits with the image? I mean, it makes it more clear in their minds? Because I was just thinking that, as you mentioned, the captions, I think you can actually create an association in your mind just by looking at it. Amazing.
Yeah, I think either way, you know, we've tested adding and not adding captions. We've tried it in the image and out of the image, and it really depends on the audience. But when it works very, very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes total sense.
And we're at the end of the hour. Should we continue going? You think folks want to stay for a little bit longer, or shall we leave it at this?
I think they should speak now, or if not, we have an answer here. Yes, Karine wants to go on. Karine, is there, Karine and Joel, do you have sites submitted that we can just go on with these two sites and then close the session? Yes, foreverafter.ro. And also, the other, I hope I pronounced that correctly, just joined and wants to go on. So I'm not sure, do you have Forever After and FinFit?
Well, let's scroll through here and find out.
Yeah,
the photography site. That's an example of a long one.
I think it's in the first one submitted.
You know, one thing I wanted to point out. One thing I wanted to point out with is, I don't know if you guys can see this this animated GIF here, but as I'm going through, text is popping up. It's boinging in from the sides. It's spinning open. So this is called parallax. And designers love to do this. And here's a period where it's a long blank space and I don't see anything. It's because the parallax is triggered by a scroll, and now suddenly the text appears, but I could very well be gone by now. So I'm scrolling, a little box appears, boing, this pops up. Guys, this is very much similar to what we were doing back in the 90s when we had pages like this with animations and marquee text and blinking text, and I would say stay away from the parallax stuff, all the little animations. The only thing that does is make your designer feel happy about themselves because they add all this unnecessary motion to the page. Don't do this on your landing pages because it's just a distraction. We really don't want to go there. But I think that is it. So do we want to just open? Let's open the.
Yes, if you could just open foreverafter.ro and finfit.com. That's the last two pages we'll take, if that's all right with you, Brian.
Yeah.
Just to stretch it 5-10 minutes. We have a landing page also. Foreverafter.ro. I think you need to look through this / this is too hard to spell.
Is it this one?
Yeah, exactly. Excellent.
Yeah, so I did look at this one. Thank you for submitting it. And so, you know, this one had so much going on. So this is a landing page, but this looks like a home page.
It's a home page, yeah.
Right. Okay. Even this sub page is a home page because it looks very much like it. So look at all the stuff that I've got going on here. I don't know what to do. So let's say that I clicked on something and it said that let's say that the offer, because here's an offer here, and I need to translate to English a little bit. 950 wedding invitations. Let's say that the ad said 950 wedding invitations. Well, I don't see that anywhere up here. You're talking about the proof points and the trust symbols are just totally dominating this key part. This is where you should be saying 950 wedding invitations and start showing your categories that are down here. We're not a fan of these rotating headers too often. They reduce conversion rate, but at least these don't move automatically, so I have to go in and click on them. But it would be better to test into this and find out which of these offers really help people. And I think for a landing page, it needs to be whatever the promise was. So this is just, there's all the sources of abandonment. This is something I see on landing pages too much. Why would you pay to have traffic come to a landing page and then send them off to Twitter or send them off to Mark Zuckerberg? You don't want to remind them that they should go to social media now. Save it for the thank you page after they've purchased. Then you should offer them, oh, you should share this on Twitter, because they're more likely to do it.
Another thing, sorry, Brian,
yeah,
on the above the fold area, another thing I noticed was that there's a call to action where it says do not buy anything, but it actually says you're not buying anything, why buy? So I think that just actually creates it in the user's mind that they're not buying anything. So I'm not sure what I need your opinion on this one, because to me I wouldn't place any kind of element that would create confusion or doubt or hesitation in their mind.
yeah. If it, if it matches your brand voice, it can be, the cuteness can help. But it's very dangerous. If that's not a good fit for your brand voice, then you're absolutely right. You're planting in their mind, do not buy. And that's obviously the opposite of what this landing page wants to do. So I wouldn't use anything this daring unless I did a split test and found out that a large percentage of my visitors are find that funny and actually will buy because of it. And of course, the tool that I would use to split test this would be Marketizator.
Yay!
Yeah. They have a great split testing tool that you can put this change in. One says don't buy, not buying anything. The other one would say why should you buy, why we're a great buy, and test those two against each other and get the answer.
Yes, or you can just present them directly, not even get them to ask. Just say buy because we're this, and that. We have the best invitations, and
Exactly.
I actually, you need to look at the images to find out that they're selling wedding invitations. So I think, as you mentioned, for so many pages before, USB and points of difference, I think, are absolutely vital here. It's pink, it's girly, but so are many other things. So I think, and the live chat. But no, this definitely looks like a homepage.
It does, and that's because the job of the homepage is to get people off of the homepage. The job of the homepage is to get people as quickly off the page and into the site. The job of the landing page is the opposite. The job of the landing page is to keep people on the landing page and convince them to take action. So you don't want a landing page that looks like your homepage, because it means you're working opposite goals. What was our other site?
The other site, 1 second, was FinFit. So FINFIT.com. Karin is asking about the wedding invitations page. What
is this the
sorry?
Is this the right URL on the page?
Yes,
on the screen?
FinFit.com. Yes, looks good.
But somebody had a question about this page first?
About that page, yes. Karin is asking what action can they take? They need to see the invitations to choose. I think you misspelled the Fin thing. We'll go back to that as soon as we're done with the wedding invitations.
Okay.
So they need to see the invitations to choose. I think maybe just present them with the best sellers or do something. What would you suggest here? I mean, it's definitely the landing page shouldn't. How do you see this going?
Well, this is the classic. This is so what you're really bringing them to is a category page.
Exactly.
So they do need to see that. I would get rid of this large header up here at the top. Oh, see, and that even creates more choices. I get rid of the navigation. I'd get rid of this header. I would bring all of these up. I would create a headline that says 900 winning invitations. And I would put the primary categories here, because ultimately you want to get them to a product page. So the job of this landing page really is kind of like a home page. You want them to go to a product page or to a category page. So it's a little bit more complex, but if you can show them the most popular of the 950 or the least expensive, or maybe have those two categories, that's what a category page has to do. I would even consider bringing this faceted search to the landing page. So this is a better landing page. Look at this. It talks about the warranty at the top. This is where you would put reinforce the call to action on the landing page, and it very quickly gets into all the options. There are calls to action to purchase, and I've got this lovely faceted search to help me choose. So all of this is okay on a landing page for a catalog e-commerce site. And I would argue that this is a better landing page as long as this area was more relevant to the specific call to action. And again, I think that you can consider getting rid of this navigation. You can get rid of, certainly get rid of this. I would even consider getting rid of search. All of this, of course, can be tested with Mark Designer, but here's an example of the secondary call to action that I would certainly test. And here's some nice proof down here with some testimonials. So this is a little bit closer to what I would want from a landing page.
Yeah. I think we can. That's awesome advice. I think we can move on to the last slide. I don't want to keep it too long. So it's FINFIT from
FinFit.
Yes, exactly. Finfit.com. Karin says thank you for the critique of the wedding.
You are welcome. Thank you for letting us look at it. Okay, so all right. So wait a minute. I got to go back here now. Do you see why these are just? So I started to go down, and then something moved up here. So I had to come back and see what was going on. Oh, do you see why these are bad ideas on landing pages? Pick a card that keeps the promise of the ad and stick to it. Stop doing that, because these are your call to action. I can create an employer account or a member account, and this is another great example of personalization, I think. Andra.
Yeah.
So what we do, I'm not sure what the call to action is. Oh, and here's some more parallax
I'm not
stuff.
sure. But this is the landing page?
I think this is a home page. So this suffers from the fact that it is a home page and needs to get people going. Let's see what one of the landing pages looks like. So if I click on member account, I know that I'm looking to create a member account. Now I'm using a stock photo that says membership on a key. Is there really not something better I can come up with for this? Financial freedom. Could I see a picture of one of your employees talking to one of your customers with their names and where they're located and what their qualifications are? That would be a great image, because you're a financial advising, a company that does financial advice. Could I don't know, show me a picture of your office building. Show me a picture if you guys are in the services business. Show me a picture of your van with the company logo and stuff on it. Show me a picture of your employees in nice, clean uniforms. There's got to be, even if you're providing a service, there's got to be something that will move your value proposition forward. And I mean, look at this is 3,000 pixels wide by 500 pixels high, the most important part of the page, and it's used for this stock image that is just bleh. Totally helpless, totally useless. And then I get a little bit of copy and I'm asked to fill out this very long form. You need more copy and more reasons for me to fill this out than this dumb graphic and one paragraph of text. This page needs to sell. What am I signing up for? What will happen when I fill this out? Will there be a call? Will I be obligated to something? Are you asking, I don't know, are you asking for a credit card here? Will I be hounded by somebody? So the proof and the trust building and the use of images here don't rise to the occasion of all of the information that you're asking for. Can you ask for less information to get a lead from people? I know that this is a qualifying form, so you only want the most qualified people, and the most qualified people are going to be just muscle through this and figure this out. But I suspect there are plenty of qualified people that are just like, screw you, we don't have a good enough relationship yet on to go through all of this, and they're abandoning you. So I think that there needs to be more work done with the images and copy to sell this, and you may be asking for too much. I would be surprised if this, unless you're delivering really, really targeted traffic, I'd be surprised if this page was converting at a high level. Andra, you want to add anything?
No, actually, I think yeah, I still don't necessarily know what they're offering. I mean, I can imagine it's a financial service, but I definitely think I need to see some benefits, how it improves my life, how I'll be happier or better afterwards, and I think each of the elements can suffer some A/B testing, from the big bulk of text to the a million fields in the form and images, as you mentioned. So I think they just need to do a progressive testing, A/B testing for all the elements of the page. But Joel said, yes, you can. Joel said it's an awesome analysis, and he thanks you. He liked it a lot, and if he can get a copy of the webinar, he can. Yes, everyone will get copies. So thank you for this as well. I think we're done with the live page critiques. It was really exciting and full of insights, as I'm sure our attendees can confirm.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun. Absolutely. And we talk more about the pages and landing pages and techniques and all the things that we're covering here, and more about testing with tools like Marketizator on our blog at conversionsciences.com. I would invite all of you to come and subscribe. Actually, you'll probably get a sample newsletter from us simply for registering. So
yes. Alex is asking if there's time to ask one more question. Do you have time for one more question, Brian?
I do.
Okay. Shoot, Alex. Okay. For an e-commerce landing page, what would be a good banner, image, slogan on the homepage? Maybe a banner with the current discounts, or one with free delivery, or what would you suggest?
So we find at the top of the page we have a lot of luck when we talk about the complete value proposition. So it's for e-commerce, there's a few check marks I need. Number one, do you have free shipping? Especially important if your competitors have free shipping, or do you have specific shipping? So we usually provide somewhere near the top of the page an indication of what the shipping issue is. If you have an amazing return policy, we have customers come to us with incredible, like an entire year you can return the product and they'll pay shipping both ways, that they don't even mention it. So you can even add those sorts of things. On a home page, so if it's a landing page and you're advertising clearance products, that's what needs to be at the top of the page in the banner. Clearance products. If there are any, like a deadline, so these products are on clearance until the end of the month, make sure that that's in there, because scarcity will often get people to stay on the page and look. And you need to get them right into seeing what the products are. So you saw before we saw that category page that I felt was really good. Your landing pages are often category pages on a catalog e-commerce site. you're going to create a separate landing page that really looks like a category page, but specifically keeps the promise and shows the products that are involved around that promise. So the discounts, the seasonal specials, you will want to create special specific landing pages that probably look like category pages for each of those events, and then drive your advertising traffic to those. You should test. I would use Marketisator to test whether or not to add the navigation to those pages. E-commerce sites are a little bit different, and people may want to navigate into the site, and usually that's not a bad thing if you have good search and good navigation tools, or even the faceted search like we saw in that last category page. Does that answer the question?
That's awesome. I think so. We'll wait for an answer from Alex, but I think that was a very comprehensive answer. Let's see. Yes, thank you, Alex. So thank you for the question, Alex. I definitely recommend all of you to go check out the Conversion Sciences blog and subscribe to their newsletter. They have tons of useful insights. Go to the quiz. I know I started with one of the coaching that you provide. So definitely, I would like to thank you, Brian, for joining us and for taking this much time from your day to answer all the questions. So if you have anything to add.
No, I just wanted to say thanks to everybody who submitted the pages. It's somewhat brave, but free consulting, you can't beat it.
Exactly.
We charge thousands of dollars for this sort of thing, so your bravery, I hope, will pay off. And good luck going and fighting those battles with your designers and your executives. I know that they often don't think in terms of results, unfortunately. So thank you for having me. I'm glad I got a chance to be here.
Well, it was definitely our pleasure and honor, and we hope we'll do this again very soon.
Okay.
Okay. Everyone, thanks us for our time. I hope you have a great day, Brian, and the rest of you. Thank you for attending. See you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.